we're back in the pasture. We have our inner fence done. We're here to set up the step stakes with our poly wire. You can see I already blazed a little trail. I can't possibly walk a straight line. Use whatever tool you have. We had our brush cutter out here, so that's what we use. Scythe it down, lawnmower, whatever, weed whacker. I just like doing this so the animals can see the wire better and to keep the voltage as high as possible so I don't have any loss. So we're gonna start stepping our stakes and roll out our reel. We have our step-in stakes in place in the first reel on. So what I wanted to talk about was a little bit of the products that we're using. The step-in stakes, I went a little bit cheaper and bought these. I think they're fiberglass, but you can see with a little bit of use, I hit a rock and busted what they should look like. They have a little place for your foot to push them down. These are a little bit chintzier. If you can afford to get them, they make metal ones that have adjustable pieces on here for the insulators. Might be a better way to go depending on how long you plan on using them, and you know, like how many years you're going to use them and how many stakes you're going to buy. Might be worth the upgrade. What I definitely would recommend, these reels, you can see on the side that it's a geared reel. It's a 3-to-1 gear ratio, so every time you crank it, it pulls in 3 times that amount. It's definitely handy with cranking these up. We're rotating these every 3 days. So we're gonna be cranking these up and going on to the next one. So that's definitely worth the money. I have 1-to-1 gear reels that I bought from Ken Cove. They were a little bit cheaper and I just don't like them. So we're gonna set these up. So these are nice. You can see the handles that they come with. We're starting on our area here where I have these cattle panels set up. So these simply clip in place, which works the same too. Since we're running high tensile on the outside, it would work the same. That's just gonna grab on your high tensile line and we're just gonna string these along our step-in stakes. So we're just gonna walk through. The way this reel works too, I guess I should have showed you that first. It's basically got a bail on the side. So the way that works, when you start reeling and when you have this down, it catches here on the side. So you pull that up and this little latch keeps it so this thing can free spool. And as you can see, there's different, for the pigs, I use the bottom too and I never use the top. So you can see in the manufacturing process that little piece of plastic was never cut out. So always have a pocket knife handy. So get that through there and keep rocking and rolling. Yeah, so here's what it should look like. There shouldn't be any kind of plastic left in here. Here's where the pigs were a little bit more destructive. At night, I had to run this out, and then pigs, I had this drawn tight, and the pigs really got ornery with me one night and actually pushed so hard they actually ripped this wire. But the nice thing with this, you can see in here, it's got the metal all the way through, so I was just able to tie that and get it working again instead of wasting, you know, that first bit of wire. It does cause a little bit of hang up though. The other thing that I was always worried about with the pigs is when I got to the end that they were gonna start messing with the reels and knocking them off, chewing on them, because you never knew what they were gonna do with these sheep. I mean, obviously it's a whole different animal, but the phrase is kind of the same too, a whole different animal. So if you come in on the side, I'll show you I'll undo what I just did. So when you get to the end and you have your bail up, I usually I clip, we're on the end, so I'm putting it here where the post is, but it has this hook. You're just gonna clip those up here. You're gonna flip this back down, and you're just gonna draw the tension out. And you're gonna kind of keep an eye on where your stakes are. This isn't high tensile wire, so you're just drawing out so it's not slack. So right now, that's good enough. And I keep the jumpers around my neck just so I don't drop them in the grass, so I can keep track of them. And then now, of course, I got them all twisted up. So the way these reels work, you're gonna notice on one side, and hopefully you don't have it in a spot where it's hard to reach. And I should mention too, I don't recall if the reels came with the jumpers. That might have been an add-on. So make sure when you're buying the reels that they come with these or that you buy them, because you're gonna need this. So on the side, there's a little wire loop. So you're gonna take your alligator clip, that's your jumper wire, and now we have the bottom 4 wires of our fence are hot, And all we're gonna do is clip that on there. So I have my fence tester. When I'm out here doing this, I'm always gonna try to keep a tester in my pocket just so I can check this. So if this is all done right and my jumper is good, I should be able to test this and see 5.3, 5.7, 6.2. Okay, so she's hopping over, but obviously we can tell that it's hot. I didn't put that jumper on the bottom. All right, we're gonna wait for this to zero back out. And we're checking here. And I think we might get some latent voltage from here. We're gonna see. I'm gonna jump this one and then you're really gonna see. Actually, I kind of want to keep this up and out of the way as well. Actually, I don't know if I like that. So now keep in mind when you're working around here that your wire is hot. It's easy to forget sometimes. So now we're going to see that we're 5.5. So I'm not sure why we were hopping voltage on that first one. I don't know, I'm not sure, but now you can see we're getting full voltage. I had blazed up the trail, so we're gonna set up our next reels for the other side of the fence, and we're gonna get these sheep out. One thing I learned the hard way was not to put the jumpers on the first wire until I have the second wire done. I previously put the jumper on the first wire, so that was hot, and I let this sag out and get going, and then I let it sag, touched it to get it in here, and got a good zap. So now I make it a policy not to put the jumpers on until I have them both ready. So we're gonna get over here. The other thing that I just now realized is that with the pigs, since I ran just the bottom two wires and not this higher one, that it was really easy to step over. So I think what I'm gonna have to do is make it a policy to unclip the top jumper. That way I don't accidentally get zapped trying to step over, because I'm a little vertically challenged here. So we're gonna get these set up, and we're gonna let the sheep out. So we miscalculated the height of the fence for one, and two, that I thought 5,000 volts would be good enough to keep them off of there, but apparently they don't really give two craps about that amount of voltage right now. So we're gonna have to sit and think about how we want to fix this up before they get out of the fence. So we're gonna have to cut the video here and get a game plan together. We're back at it again, attempt number 2. Obviously we had the line up too high. I don't know what I was even thinking. These sheep are pretty small, so we put the line where we had it up here, we put it down to the bottom just like we ran our pigs. We also went around, we had left this pasture sit last year. We didn't have any animals on it. The grass grew up. We had plugged the fence charger in for the last week. It was killing some of the grass on the bottom, but there was quite a bit of dead grass, and we're getting some grounding issues. You know, we showed the fence before where we were hitting like 5.3, 5.4. So now we're showing, we whack back the grass. We're hitting 6.1, so 6.2. This line's hot too, 6.5 peak there. So we gained quite a bit. And I did read, you know, obviously this is our first time on sheep. So with the pigs, I mean, we might have lost a little bit with this charger too. So with the same fence charger, we were hitting 7.2, 7.3, I think was our highest. And we changed nothing else. Well, actually I take that back. You know, we did add another line, which now that I'm thinking about it out loud, that might have dropped the voltage, adding so much more wire. And we did add a whole nother fence down, 4 more strands down the middle. So that might account for quite a little bit of the loss with adding more wire. So I guess with all that being said, we had the wire fixed here. We're gonna let the sheep back out and see if we can keep them contained. With the pigs, you know, having the fence that hot, if they would even touch it back into it, they would immediately bounce off of it. But we did train them in this area. So we were led to believe that we wouldn't really have to train the animals, but you guys saw the sheep went underneath that, how we had the bottom wire, and its back was on there, and it really made no effect. So I'm hoping that maybe they'll get their nose on there and get zapped and understand the wire. But if they walk through here, I don't know, we're gonna have to go back to the drawing board. So we're gonna open this up and see if we can't get them out of here. Hey sheep, hey girls. Come on girls, fresh grass. Come on girls. There we go. All right, nice and slow. So we're gonna see how this works out for them. Oh, ooh. Oh, she got it. So this is the first time with electric wire. Where we got them, they had a lot of, they had cattle panels and woven wire. So, okay, so you can see they did get their butts in there. So, boy, I'm hoping everything works out like we want, that they're not gonna, man, now that I'm looking at this too, they might just hop right over that. So I might get the other reels that we have out and run a line over the top. It's just making me a little bit nervous. I was more used to the pigs. That's what we were familiar with and we had them trained on and we were used to, so I knew what to expect. So now I don't know what to expect. So it's making me a little bit nervous. I'm excited with the sheep because I think for us, it's gonna be more sustainable. We're not going to breed them at all this year. We're raising them up just for ourselves to keep the meat. But down the line, if this all works out how I'm hoping that it works out, we plan to breed in the future and expand fencing across the property. So in my mind, you know, this is a great super master plan. And I just hope that we can get there and I don't fail, you know, in the first year. So I can see that they're out there eating the grass and we're just gonna kind of keep an eye on them and make sure that the fence is gonna contain them. We're also working on the shelter for them right now. So we're rotating them. So obviously they can't stay in this shelter. We're modifying, we had made a little pig hutch. What was this simple little A-frame. You know, the pigs are so low that they didn't need much height even when they got bigger. So we're taking the materials that we had for their shelter and using a calf hutch and just kind of repurposing the material. So we're gonna work on that and then come back and show you guys how that turns out. We're back here to end the video. We just finished up the shelter for the sheep. What we did was take the 4x4s that we had from our pig shelter. We basically just made a frame. We had to take the radius of the corners in consideration and we didn't want to get too complicated, so we made a box. So it's a little short in the back to account for that. We took some of these galvanized hardwares. It almost has a washer built in. Just screwed it right through the plastic here into the frame, added a couple handles. So last time with the shelter I put them up too high, so you really couldn't lift up, so I made it low enough so it's easy to pick up. Then in the back, I reused the wheels that we had. I picked them up. I really like going to garage sales. I picked those wheels up for like $1. I liked that they were metal and not plastic, so they were pretty heavy duty. So got this wrapped up. If you look in the background, we did add another line on top. So I know, sorry Greg, Judy, we're running 3 lines. I don't know what to do with the sheep. I mean, I shouldn't say I don't know what to do. I'm just a little nervous. Like I said, first time with the sheep, I don't want them getting through. It might be better. Maybe I was better served having netting or doing a tractor method. So I guess we're trying it out, seeing what's going to work best for us. So maybe somebody will see how our process and learning experience is with us, and that'll help you be more informed for when you hop into getting sheep too. So you can see they're really loving the grass. They're kind of bedded down a little bit over there right now. We just put the shelter out here. Actually, they're sitting down eating the grass right now. So we just put the shelter in. We're gonna give them a little bit of space, wrap it up for the day. So we'll catch you guys in the next video. Hit the like button, subscribe, check out more content that's coming out. So we'll see you guys in the next video.